Double RT Boxing here. I'm your host, Mr.A. Episode 24, Season 1, coming to an end. Now, we're going to do a little recap of what happened over this weekend's fights and in today's fights, and then some more boxing talk. Because that's what we do on the Ready Talk Boxing Show with your host, Mr.A. Thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Now, on the ESPN app, Plus, I should say ESPN Plus, the $4.99 special, you saw two of the elite Japanese fighters right now doing vicious stuff in the ring. Kenshiro, the WBC light flyweight champion, dominating Gayan Lopez in the rematch, because that's who he defeated for the belt in the first time. So it's always very impressive when you see the rematch for the championship and it ends quickly, dramatically with a knockout, just like Deontay Wilder did Bermane Stiverne. Okay, first fight, Stiverne took Wilder to 12 rounds. Second fight, Wilder folded him up with a knockout. This fight, Kenshiro, right here on the Double RT Boxing Show, we predicted that Kenshiro would win by a decision, though. Footwork, having speedier hands combinations, using his faster feet to go in and out, kind of like he did in majority of fight portions of the first fight. And it kind of looked like it was going that way. The first round you see, Ken was a little too quick for him, ducking under the punches, going in and out on the fast footwork. But in the second round, he caught the flaw that Lopez has. Lopez has a very bad flaw of backing down with his hands wide and down. And when Lopez backed down, with the quick feet of Kenshiro, jumped in with a quick straight right to the stomach. Straight, no liver shot, no kidney shot, right in the stomach. So he caught him jumping back right in the stomach. Lopez goes down all fours, couldn't get up. Second round knockout in a rematch from the former champ. Good job on Kenshiro. One of Mr. A's favorite fighters since starting the show. Top 5. Then we move on to the main attraction, which was the headliner, but was Inoue. I can't pronounce his name now. Inoue. The monster Inoue. His name gets all the fame. I believe his name gets all the fame because he was matched up to possibly fight Chocolatito. Because Kenshiro is just as good. Taking on the WBA regular bantamweight champion, Jimmy McDonald, who came in the ring with a 7-year plus winning streak, wars, out jabbing people, moving around the ring. And the fact that right around the corner is the WBSS tournament season 2, and one of the weight classes for that tournament is the bantamweights. So 118 heavy, because it already got 3 champions in there. TT, I think it's Emmanuel Rodriguez and Ryan Burnett. And then, they're like, okay, the winner of this fight, the WBA regular champion, is going to also be in there with the Super WBA regular champion. And then we dominated, knocked him down in the first round with that left monster hook. And then once he got up, the Japanese, I know Mexicans are known, they get this the stigma and the stereotype of being great body punchers. Japanese fighters, if not better, are just as good. Their body work is phenomenal. And these two fighters, like I said, Kenshiro and Inoue, they ended their fights. Well, Inoue ended it with a barrage of punches on the ropes, but it started with the hook to the body, and Shiro ended his with a body shot. Beautiful, beautiful body work by Japanese fighters. And these two, being the elite in their countrymen, Inoue brung big drama to the WBSS because he officially entered he officially threw his name in the tournament. So along with those three great champions, I named Rodriguez, TT, and Burnett, you have him. And I missed a Emmanuel fight. Burnett, he's more of he does that boost style, that Hurricane jerk. So it's going to be real interesting to see who he matches up against. Teti, rangy, height, nightmare power, and he wants to fight Inoue. But now that this tournament's going on, he might have his chance. So that's going to be it's going to be real interesting. Just those four fighters right there. It's going to be real interesting to see who else goes in there and how the matchups are. I have someone who I want to die hard see in that bantamweight tournament, and I would talk more about it. We could say it right now. Why not? Because those are four fighters, and who I want to see, because every tournament needs like maybe your mid-tier, your dark horse rider, your dark horse winner, maybe. And right now, there is no USA opponent in there. And even though his last fight was at super bantamweight, they said he's dropping down back to bantamweight because he was at bantamweight. He went up and he said he's coming back down, and that is, don't blink, Joshua Greer Jr. Mr.A is putting in his vote. Put Joshua Greer Jr. I hope he goes into that tournament. He talks a lot of talk. He's flamboyant. He thinks he's the shit. I like him. I think he's the goods. But is he WBSS winner goods? It's only one way to find out. Get your ass in that tournament. And like I said, he is the perfect dark horse competitor. He won't be favored, but he won't be an easy victory over either. I think he has the punch selection. He has the speed. He has the grit. He has the heart. He has the good coach in his corner. He has a good team around him. It would just have to be, will he be able to get past some of the fighters who probably are a little more talented, like Teti, Inoue, him and Burnett, who knows? Like that. He might be a little undersized, but so is Inoue. It'd be real interesting to see what Josh Greer Jr. can do in this tournament. Like I said, I think he has the punching power, the speed, the feet work, the punch selection. It'll all just be how mentally he handles the big stage, because this will be a huge stage for him. Right now he's just famous for putting in some work on maybe a competitor is a little bit below him, or if not below him, but now taking it up to the world stage. Can he have the balls to bring out that don't blink pill of the night? Like I said, that's the fifth point. I would love to see his name be the fifth name listed in the tournament, because they try to get Rigo, but he was medically advised, like, dude, at your age, you dropping this type of weight. Because remember, he went up to 130, then dropped down to 118. They're like, I don't know, bro. That's not medically healthy for you to do that. So he pulled out. He pulled out on he didn't pull out, but he turned the tournament down based on doctor's advice. It kind of makes sense, People say what they want to say about, but he's like 36 years old, almost 37, whatever, going to 130, dropping down to 118. That's not going to end good for Rigo. His name is too good. His reputation, what he built up in boxing, is too good to go out like that in a tournament. And considering about what weight loss is, we're going to go to a weight problem with David Lemieux. Could not make the weight for his Karim Akner fight. I was real interested in seeing that fight. It was for the WBC Fairphone fight and the WBC International middleweight fight. And again, David Lemieux did not make weight. I believe this is like his third time, or second or third time in his last 3 fights. I believe he had a catch weight against Reyes. And in his last few fights, he's been looking a little thick and sluggish around the midsection. You know, I think the last time he really came in shape was for Triple G. And it's a shame. And like I said, in the weight gain, and since we're talking about Rigondeaux and David Lemieux, if you've seen the pictures of David Lemieux, you saw his face. His face was sucked in, just bone dry. He had no energy to fight at that weight. He would have got. And like I said, I know no one knows Karim Akner. David Lemieux probably would have rehydrated, had some gas for probably about 4-5 rounds. And if he want to finish Karim, then Karim does not fuck around. Karim comes to fucking fight. He may not punch as hard as David Lemieux, but he brings the kitchen sink to your ass. And he brings it in volume. And if David Lemieux, due to that weight loss, would have gassed out about 5 rounds, because you know David Lemieux fucking throws hard. He don't know how to throw soft up punches. It's either murder ball or nothing. He would have been in a nightmare fight against Karim. Because like I said, if Karim would have lasted 5-6 rounds and not been knocked out, I'm telling you, go watch the way Karim Akner fight. That dude does not play around. He would have beat the shit out of a fatigued, drained David Lemieux. It would have been bad. It would have been real bad. So his team did the right thing on saying, like, you know what, fight's over. We're gonna take him to 168, because I believe that fight got canceled. I believe it did. Now, speaking of bad, you know, that's a Golden Boy fighter, David Lemieux. And Golden Boy CEO Oscar De La Hoya is making some real noise right now. You know, bad mouthing Triple G and Tom Loeffler, being a little fucking golden bitch. You know, I say that because what he's trying to do is make Triple G look bad. You know, like I said, right here on the Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Get the thumbs up. This is your boxing show. I'm just a host. Your show where it's boxing talk. You know, Triple G, he's trying to make Triple G look bad on this, and we're not going to wait for you. What's the difference? Why do you want a bigger fight? Because basically, what the breakdown is. A quick little rundown for, like I said, this is the boxing talk show, the Ready Talk Boxing. So you're here because you know the scoop, but for some reason, if there's some person who's not quite in it, boom, Canelo, Triple G, been in talks for a long time, blah blah blah. You know, I want to fight you. Triple G was about to fight Canelo. Canelo like, oh no, I don't want to fight you. You know what's gonna make me force me to fight you? He gave up the WC belt. You know, so everyone back then was saying, oh, Canelo was scared to fight Triple G because he gave up his belt. And then Triple G gets the WBC belt. And all of a sudden, boom, they end up fighting eventually into a draw. Majority of the people believe Triple G beat Canelo. It was some wild out scorecard of 117 to 111. The fight ended up in a draw. But like I said, majority of the people feel Triple G won that fight. So then, okay, let's do a rematch. It's time to do a rematch. And here we go. The rematch is scheduled for May 5th. And what happens? Canelo pops dirty 2 times. Well, 3, but 2 times. So after that, you know, he's suspended. Canelo goes get his knee surgery. Triple G desperately looking for an opponent. You know, goes through numerous names. Ends up knocking out Vanis Marozhin. Now, back to present day. Thank you for listening to that quick little recap. Back to present day. It is now Triple G, you know, talking to the IBF. And Team Canelo and De La Hoya is like, hey, we want that rematch on September 15th, blah, blah, blah. What's happening? And Triple G is like, you know what? I want a new deal. I want more money. You know, I deserve more money. And now there's people a lot of things like, what the fuck? What did Triple G do to deserve more money? Listen, people, it makes perfect sense that Triple G gets a way new contract for that fight. You know, don't go into September 15th fight with a May 5th contract. One alone, does that even sound fucking right? Sounds like stupid ass business, right? Now, but we're gonna break it down right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. Mr. A will let you know why it's a dumbass decision and a dumbass decision for Triple G to do that, and a smart move on why he's asking for more, because it just more shit has drawn in the table. Triple G's life has changed since the May 5th fight, or the supposedly May 5th fight. Now, one, Triple G got an exemption from the IBF for that fight. The IBF said, cool, you don't have to fight Sergey because you're going to fight Canelo. We get it. It's good for the sport. But after you fight Canelo, you're going to fight your mandatory. Canelo pops dirty twice, and the IBF's like, you know what? If you're not going to fight Sergey on that May 5th as a replacement, you can fight whoever the hell you want. But the IBF belt is not on the line. Your WBC belt and your WBO belt and your IBO belt, those are on the line. But after May 5th, you're going to fight that IBF mandatory. So only 3 belts was on the line that night. Not the IBF belt was not on the line. Now, that being said, the IBF might not, well, the IBF is going to make him fight this mandatory. So De La Hoya is saying, what has changed? Triple G, in order to get that rematch, he has to lose a belt. So, motherfucker, you better pay me a lot of money for me to fuck up my legacy to lose a belt. I just gotta drop a belt to fight you. I don't do bitch shit like Canelo. Drop a belt, you know? I'm gonna give you a belt. No. So, one, Triple G has to lose a belt. And De La Hoya's like, what's wrong? What has changed? And everyone on the internet, I see some people's videos. They're like, oh, Triple G's being a bitch. Fight Canelo. What has changed? You only knocked out. No, it has nothing to do with him knocking out Vance. In order for him to fight Canelo, he has to lose a belt. And that's affecting his legacy. You know, whether you want to say he's not going for undisputed because he's not fighting Billy Joe, who cares? If Triple G, he's already as good as he is, anything, you know what the top athletes, anything a top athlete does. LeBron James fucking has 6 turnovers. Oh my God. Kobe Bryant didn't pass enough. Oh my God. Fucking the top athletes. Tiger, when he was in his prime, he shot par. Oh my God. So anything that Triple G does, it's gonna be, oh my God, Triple G gave up a belt. He's a bitch. He's not a Hall of Fame player. How dare you compare him to Marvin Hagler? So for him to get that type of ridicule on his legacy, he gave up a belt. How can he be a great? He gave up a belt. He gave up a belt. That means a lot to a man's legacy. So yeah, De La Hoya, Golden Boy, you better pay me a different fucking contract for me to give up a belt to fight you. Second, you fucked up the fight. You popped dirty, not me. You popped dirty twice. Third, like they've been saying, you gave Cotto all that money. I have more belts than Cotto. You know, right now, I have a very hot fan base. Maybe it may not bring in pay-per-views, but I sell out arenas, and me fighting you is going to bring even more. It's going to be a higher pay-per-view for you, Canelo. So that whole De La Hoya saying the train has run, they're selling fucking wolf tickets. It's bullshit. But yeah, Team Triple G needs a better contract. Do not fight September 15th with a May 5th contract. He needs a better contract. He deserves a better contract. And the reason why De La Hoya and Golden Boy is saying all this bullshit, oh, he's scared to duck. He's scared to fight Canelo. He's scared of this. They're trying and I give De La Hoya credit. He's being smart. He's pretty good promoting. He's trying hard to put forth the information, a new image on who they're gonna fight on September 15th. We tried to fight Triple G, but he didn't want it. He was scared. He wanted a new contract, a contract he fucking deserves. So when they bring out this bullshit opponent, you gotta remember, Canelo's under a lot of ridicule. Golden Boy is going bad right now. If you really want to go back to the last year or two, they had those dumbass fucking emails about a contractor or a worker / whatever calling Al Heyman nigger and shit. Very bad. Nothing ever got fixed with that. And then that's just business. And then you got their fighters themselves taking the company. Well, before we even go to the fight, De La Hoya is rumoredly with all these pictures and DUIs and rehab. So that's two in-house business. Golden Boy is kind of shaky, but it gets not talked about. But then you go to their fighters. Recently, David Lemieux cannot make weight. Looked shitty in his last fight. Got demolished by Billy Joe. So that's taking the L right there. Then you got Saddam Ali, smash. Golden Boy, lost the belt, taking the L. Canelo, their big star, gets popped for fucking PEDs or banned substance. 2 tests. So that's Golden Boy promotion is taking the L. And the only thing they got going for him really hot right now is Ryan Garcia and I think the nephew, Diego De La Hoya. But he's so-so. He's not really, you can't really say nothing about him because he had trouble making weight. He had to go up. So he's fighting on, I think, the 9th or something. So we'll see what he's about. Like I said, Golden Boy itself is taking L's as inside business. Their CEO is giving them a bad light. Their fighters are taking taking L's, losing belts. And then, like I said, and they're trying to, De La Hoya is saying all this scared crap, so trying to build up a desert mirage on what the fight is going to be on the 15th. Because I don't think it's going to be Triple G. I do not see Triple G giving up his IBF belt, and I do not see the IBF giving Triple G another extension. And I don't see Sergey taking step-aside money unless he's gonna make them overpay him step-aside money. Like you give me like 3.3 million. I do not see Sergey taking some like $500,000 step-aside money. He's gonna have to at least take $1 million or $1.5 to $2 million for step-aside money. But I don't see him taking step-aside money at all, according to what the trainer Roger is saying. So back to what De La Hoya is doing, he's trying to really, as those counterfeit artists do when they paint over a bullshit picture, just to tell you like, hey, this is the Mona Lisa, but I just painted over some bullshit. That's what De La Hoya is doing. He's trying to counterfeit you a painting. Like, oh, here's this canvas, here's the ring, it was supposed to be Triple G, but he's scared, so we're gonna paint some bullshit fighter in there. Saying he's reached out to Frank Warren for Billy Joe Saunders. I don't see Billy Joe Saunders fighting Canelo over Triple G. I really don't. If he's gonna fight in September, I don't see what's the point in fighting Canelo when you can fight Triple G for all those belts. All the times he's been calling out Canelo, and Billy Joe is a bad matchup for Canelo's first fight back. First fight back, all this media attention is going to be on him. Banned substance, knee surgery. Did he really beat Triple G? Billy Joe just beat the shit out of a Golden Boy fighter. And especially if Billy Joe puts on a clinic on Martin Murray coming up. So that has a lot to do on how Billy Joe looks in that Matt Murray fight. That fight, but I just don't think that's going to happen. It's saying we're reaching out to Frank Warren. We'll see. Then we're reaching out to. We haven't reached out yet, but we will to Jamal Charlo. Again, Canelo's first fight back. Come on, to Jamal Charlo. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And then they're saying, "Oh, well, we reached out to. We'll take Danny Jacobs. We'll take Danny Jacobs. You know, we're reaching out to Eddie Hearn. Yeah, sure. And then we reached out to Spike Sullivan people. Okay, Spike Sullivan, who's just happened to be, under Golden Boy his last 3 fights. Now, like I said, I did a little Mr.A's thoughts segment on this on Canelo's first fight back without Triple G. And we did a listen. It was Spike Sullivan because he's working with Golden Boy. And don't forget, this is it's a quiet name. It's a quiet name, but it's a possible name. Will it make sense? Boxing fans probably shit on this fight because it's probably not pay-per-view worthy. But if it's spun and put in the right place, it could bring in a good fan base. You got Jason Quigley out there. Jason Quigley, the Irish fighter, on the Mexican Independence Day versus Irishman. That'll be a nice little fan base war. The Irish will support Jason Quigley if put in the right area. Now, will Canelo fight maybe in the Barclays Center, where there's a nice New York Irish fan base? I don't know. Will the Irish go to Las Vegas for Quigley? I don't know, but I know they will show up in New York. But like I said, Quigley is a nice, easy, safe fight for Canelo with a nice fan base, a gate ticket for all the Irish. So you got the Irish crowd, the Mexican crowd, Mexican Independence Day, a nice little rivalry war. The fans be all into it. Then you got O'Sullivan, again, another Irish person, but they've been building him up on the undercards and all. So 2 Golden Boy fighters. And like I said, and then there's a quiet one. Willie Monroe Jr. They've been talking and talking. He was supposed to have a Canelo fight like 3 years ago after he beat. Who did he beat? He beat someone. He was supposed to have a Canelo fight, but Golden Boy never gave it to him because he looked a little too slick, And then you have that comparison to Triple G. So Willie Monroe is a dark horse as a comeback fight, and Mexican and blacks always do pretty good wars for boxing, So on Independence Day, you got a Mexican fighting a nice slick, supposedly known slick fighter in Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe doesn't punch hard. His output is low. So it's a nice, safe fight for Canelo to come back. You saw the output of Willie Monroe against Billy Joe Saunders. And that's for a belt. And he didn't even attempt to win that fight. He had a couple outputs here and there. To me, Willie Monroe is a fighter who's just very content on looking good, taking a nice check, and surviving the 12 rounds. If he wins, he loses, whatever. I got a check. I didn't get hurt. He only fought Triple G because Triple G made him fight. Triple G was going to beat his ass and made him throw punches to defend himself. You saw his low output against Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe was peppering him. And then I think Canelo will force a fight, but allow Willie Monroe to survive if he has to. But at the same time, Canelo will try and knock him out. He's the perfect opponent to look good against. The black slick fighter, the crowd will go crazy on a knockout. And then, like I said, De La Hoya said we reached out to Eddie Hearn, who promotes Daniel Jacobs. Doesn't mean you want Daniel Jacobs. Another, and this is a good fan base fight. Is it highly pay-per-view worthy? Probably not. But who does Eddie Hearn sign? Gabriel Rosado. Mexican-Puerto Rican rivalry on Mexican Independence Day. First fight back. Got a name, a warrior. Gabe Rosado's a warrior. He's going to come to win. He gets busted up. He bleeds. So I won't be surprised if it's Gabriel Rosado, if it's a Quigley or Sullivan. Two Irishmen with an Irish fan base. Rosado with who worked well with Golden Boy, like I said, who just signed to Eddie Hearn with that DAZN deal, but Eddie Hearn would take him off the DAZN fight and put him in there with the Canelo. Take all that money. A good first fight for Eddie Hearn and his USA DAZN deal. It won't be on DAZN, but it'll be a DAZN fighter. It'll be Canelo's very safe first fight back. So those are the three fighters I'm thinking it's going to be. I think it's going to be Quigley, Sullivan, or Rosado. You heard it here on the Double RT Boxing, the Ready Talk Boxing. You leave it down in the comment below. Who do you think it'll be? Sullivan, Quigley, or Rosado? And then talking to promoters, talking about promoters and promoting. Floyd Money Mayweather promoting the T.M.T. Too Much Turmoil. What the hell is going on over there? Oh man, you got Tank Davis, Ishe Smith. You had that one young guy bitching about Floyd's not doing his job. Like, dude, Floyd put out a tape with you and him sparring. You know how much, if you would have just kept your mouth shut, you know what good that would have done for you? Like, oh, this dude was sparring Floyd, putting in some work. He's ready for his next fight, but no, you go and say, oh, you ain't doing your job. Maybe you ain't doing your job in the fucking ring. You ain't doing your job. It's like, hey, you know what? You ain't ready for me to start promoting. You get these little bullshit fights. I get you. Because Floyd is getting a real bad rap right now. Like I said, I don't know what's happening behind the curtains. I'm only in the audience like you. I see the magic tricks, and I'm wowed by them. Now, how many people are in and out behind the curtain? We don't know, so I can't really judge that. But you got Ishe Smith saying, "Oh, we're not getting paid. We're told to get a job." If I'm not mistaken, when Floyd Mayweather was fighting Pacquiao, remember he was saying, "I'm about to retire, so everyone's gonna, I hope they learn what I've been teaching them, because I'm not going to be here much longer to be giving them handouts and taking care of them. I taught them well. I paid them well. I hope they all saved up so they don't have to get a job or get a job within the craft they know." Remember Floyd Mayweather was saying that about 3 years ago when he was fighting Pacquiao? Like, hey, my time is coming up. I'm going to start focusing on my thing now. So whatever you guys have, get a job, invest your money wise. Remember he was telling everyone that 3 years ago? So now he's fully on promoter status. Now, is he paying them justifully? I don't know. Is he getting them fights? As a boxing fan, I could say from my eyeball test, Floyd Mayweather is doing a fantastic job as a promoter. He's getting Ishe Smith fights that, it's like he's still around. He's still getting Ishe Smith fights. He's gotten Ashley Theophane a big payday against Adrian Broner, knowing damn well everyone knew Ashley Theophane was not going to win against Broner, but he got him that fight. And then the main controversy of all, before we go into the Tank thing, remember, where's Jane Leon Love? Everyone's saying, oh, Jane Leon Love. He's been getting Jane Leon Love fights. He's been putting him on. Ever since Jay Leon Love got upset against, he got Jay Leon Love a big fight. His big fight was against Porky Medina. Porky fucking sauced him up, and then since then he hasn't looked the same. So he's been putting him on PBC cards, like nice little cards here and there. And to me, it looks like Jay Leon Love is more about looking the part than being the part. He's coming in phenomenal shape, wearing these short ass shorts, trying to be all fucking Mr. Finesse man in there, and he didn't even look like he won against Abraham Lahan. So I don't want to hear nothing from Jay Leon Love. He's still Floyd Mayweather is still getting him fights. Now, as far as Latasha Jones, the female, it'd be better to see Floyd get her a little more fights. What weight class is she in? Is she going from 160 to 168 to 154? Who knows what weight class she's in? But there's fighters out there to get her fights. Maybe she needs to find a more set weight class. But it'd be better. I can kind of relate to her. Women's boxing is getting a little hot right now. Give me some fights. Throw me somebody. But maybe at the same time, as a promoter, maybe Floyd ain't liking what he's seeing. Maybe like, yeah, you bullshitting, But like I said, that's the only one I could side with. It'd be cool to see her get more fights. Because right now, with women's boxing, she has a big brand, T.M.T. It'd be real good. Now, and then you got Mickey Bay. Seriously, ever since his John Molina loss, what the hell's been Mickey Baby doing? He's been pumping Mickey Baby. He gave him a fight against Bartholomew, other fights, and Mickey Baby just ain't showing up. But those other fighters, I don't know, but the ones you be seeing on Dante's Boxing Nation, shouts out to Dante. The fighters you be seeing in the gym, he puts them all on cards. Whether you know it or not. Floyd Mayweather has a lot of Sin City fight cards. He be building all his little fighters up on those Sin City cards. So he puts them all on cards. Like I said, as a fight fan, I don't know what he's doing with their money, but is he getting them opportunities? Is he getting the opportunities to shine? Giving them a spotlight is he giving them the stage to become a main actor, become a main star? Yes, he is. He is giving them definitely a stage to perform on. Are they performing to their credibility? Are they performing to their standards? Maybe that's all they are. Maybe that's all they are doing, are performing to the standards and not performing beyond their standards. Now, moving on to Tank, the main man who is talking the most, saying he's unhappy. He's unhappy. Floyd, I'm under someone. He never says his name. He says, Floyd just contradicts himself a lot. But I'm under someone who reports to Al on my spendings, reports to this and reports to that. Well, you got to remember, it is half Floyd's doing. Floyd gives them too much in the beginning, so it kind of comes off as a friendship, so that they take it as a friendship and not as, this is my boss. Floyd gives them cars, gives them houses, gives them diamond necklaces, makes them real comfortable. Like, I give you the life, I give you a place to stay, I give you a car, you got money, there's nothing you need to worry about. All you need to do is train and be a badass. Train, be a badass. That's all I want you to do. Hey, your mom's in a fucking slum. Here's more money. Bring your mom to a nice neighborhood. I don't want you stressing about your mom. I took care of you. Be a badass. Now train, sleep, shit, fight. Train, sleep, eat, shit, fight. That's what he wants. Tank is not a friend. Tank is an investment. So when your investment is out there spending money, acting a little fool, yeah. He goes talk to Al Hammond like, hey, our investment's kind of being a little fuck up. He's spending a little too much money. He might ask us for more, So on the business outcome, of course, two bosses are going to talk about what their investment is doing. How much money are they actually making off Tank? Seriously, Tank hasn't headlined nothing. On the biggest stage, Tank lost his belt, and not only did he lose that belt against Francisco on the McGregor card, he actually didn't look too sharp in that fight. So On the biggest fight with the most eyeballs in the world, Tank didn't look that good. You know, he looked like a dominant guy who was supposed to beat that guy, but he didn't do it convincingly. So, but he still won. So all the eyeballs that should have been like, "Whoa, Tank's a bad motherfucker," they didn't get to see that because Tank didn't look that sharp. Now, did he look sharp against Quasar? Yeah, he did. He looked really fucking good. His counterpunch was on point. Tremendous. Now we'll get back to that Quayar fight. We're gonna go back to what Tank said first. I was forced. I was set up. You said I want to be champion. I want to be great. And what did Floyd do for you? He got you a title shot against Pedraza. A fight you saying you was forced into after your own words publicly saying I want to be great. I want to be a champion. Pedraza publicly saying I can't handle 126 anymore. I'm going to go up. Or whatever the fight was at. Was it 130, 126? Whatever the weight class, Pedraza was publicly saying this weight's too much for me. I can't train down to this anymore. I'm going to give up the belt and I'm going to go up. And what did Floyd do? Like, hey, before you give up that belt, want some money? Want to fight Tank? I can't make the weight no more. Here's a little more money. So Floyd got Tank a fight against a fighter who couldn't make the weight and was ready to vanquish that belt. But yet Tank is saying he was forced into a fight. Pedraza had to almost weight drain himself to get to that weight. You know, that was Tank's first title shot. A champion who was ready to vanquish that belt, who didn't want to be there. But yet you're forced into a situation. Fine, whatever. And then he, like I say, gets his title, loses that title, and then he tries to get a nice. He was trying to, and then, well, a lot of people are forgetting and not mentioning, Floyd was trying to set him up for the nice big build up against Billy Dibb. Billy Dibb may not be no one, but he's a big Australian name. You know, he was going to put him on the undercard. You know, of then he's going to put him on the undercard of a Tank fight. But Billy Dibb's opponent got canceled out. And then the whole Tevin Farmer thing blew up in fiascos. So it was trying to set up a Billy Dibb Farmer fight. And Tank fucked it all up. And then Farmer lost his belt. So that whole little storyline went out the window. So what did Floyd do next? He gives him a Quayar fight. Off a year plus layoff. Flat-footed. Right in front of you, typical opponent for a guy who's counter and speed, the attributes of Tank. Makes it for a WBA title shot. And then not only does it a WBA after Tank wins and becomes the champion, no one's mentioning this. No one mentions this at all. He got bumped. He fucking switched belts. He took the super belt from Alberto Machado. Tank is now the super champion while Machado is the regular. Remember, it was Machado who fought Jazrael Corrales, who was the super champion, who lost his belt on the scales, so the super belt was only available for Machado. Machado stopped him. Machado became the WBA super champion. You know, and WBA like, no, since Corrales lost the belt on the scales, the championship that was available was the regular. No, since when does that happen? When the fighter loses his belt on the scales, that belt becomes available for the opponent. It doesn't switch. No one is mentioning how fucking Floyd got Tank Davis the super belt. Remember this, folks. The super belt was fucking Machado's. He beat the champion. Even though Corrales lost that belt on the scale, that belt became vacant for that fight, and Machado was the super champion. Tank beat Quayar for the regular, and Floyd got that shit switched. He made fucking Tank the super champion, and Machado the regular champion. But yet, Floyd, Floyd is fucking him over. I don't get it. Like I said, unless there's some really, really super bad fucking unseen eye to eye. Like he said, Tank said TMT is doing what they should be doing for him, but him and Floyd just ain't seeing eye to eye. Fuck it, man. He's your boss. He don't have to see eye to eye. You're an investment, you know. So we all got jobs where we don't like our boss. We talk to him, we cool here and there, and ultimately, he's our boss. You know, we don't like him. Get a new fucking job. You know, right now, Tank, you're under contract. Fight it out, man. Tank is being well taken care of by TMT. Now, whether he's a little unhappy with Floyd telling him, "Hey, the floor is dirty, go mop it." Oh, why you being a dick, boss? I'm your fucking boss. I want you to train harder. I want you to fucking be more dedicated. You know, I gave you 2 world title shots. And the second shot, I took your ass up to super, baby, when you should be regular. I got the fucking organization to take a belt off a champion and give him another belt. I did that for you, but yet I'm fucking you over. I don't know. But that's my thought on that whole TMT Too Much Turmoil you over there in the Floyd Mayweather camp. You know, and then we're gonna move on to today's fights. The 26th, we got a Jerwin Acosta. Today was supposed to be the David Lemieux fight. You know, couldn't make the weight, so that is that. But you know, like I said, I don't know much about Kal Yaffe. You know, I know he's the flyweight champion, the light flyweight champion, I believe. Him and Jerwin Acosta. So it'll be good. Like I said, this is gonna be my. Like I said, I'm not sure if I seen him, but I believe I seen his younger brother fight. And so it'll be my little coming out party. Like I said, I gotta go to work later on. I gotta go work a little after this video, after this show. So when I come home, hopefully those fights are posted up. I could catch them. But tonight is that fight, and Jerwin Acosta is taking on the Jonas Sultan, and that should be a good fight. You know, and after those fights, I hope those fighters say they want to unify against each other. Because what's the point of having 2 champions in the same weight class if they're not going to unify in the next fight? That's all I want to see. Yaffe's saying he wants to take out the champions one by one. Well, you're on the undercard of Jerwin Acosta, who's the same champion in your weight class. Yeah, I believe you're the WBA. Jerwin's the IBF. Make it happen. Make it happen. Like I said, after this fight, I want nothing but a unification announcement. Now, the fight itself between Jerwin and Sultan should be real good. You got Jerwin, who's coming into his own right now, getting a real good jab. You know, good footwork. You know, he's got a good hooks to the body. And you got Sultan, who's a little rough and rugged. He's a young prospect, but he's #1 contender. You know, he's doubling up the jab. He throws with power. It should be a good fight. You know, I say it should be a good fight, about 5-6 rounds, but I think Jerwin should start to pull away, show that he is a champion, a little more technically skilled at this point in their careers, and he should be able to pull away. I'm picking Jerwin on a late round stoppage, rounds 10, 11 stoppage. I think he just because Sultan. He lunges a lot. His footwork ain't the best, so he throws himself off balance. And I think Jerwin could counter those off balance moments with some good body shots and some head shots. And if worse comes to worse, he's just gonna jab him, blind him with some jabs for a couple rounds, and start digging him to the body. And I think if not a decision. I mean, if not a late round stoppage, he should get an easy decision. So that is the episode, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Double RT Boxing Show, the Ready Talk Boxing Show. Hope you're entertained. I don't have time to put a timeline down. Usually I put timelines down for you. So when I come back, I'll put a timeline after work. But for those who watch it with no timeline, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. The Double RT Boxing Show, episode 24. Thank you for your time and support. Thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. See you on the next one.